fingers down my spine. Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your fingers down my spine? Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your
I don't know if you guys can tell, this is me clapping my hands because I'm just very impressed that we have now made it to 3 episodes, because you gotta understand. Oh, here comes Nina. She wants to see what I'm doing. She's been sitting at the top of the stairs for the last 5 minutes. Hi. And now you're gonna come make some noise, aren't you? Because I just started. Yeah. That's the kind of dog she is, people. And my voice cracked. So, we made it to 3 episodes. And I just, I've been very passionate about this podcast, and I've been having a lot of fun doing it. I'm so excited about the next episode every time. And I still am. I'm excited about this one. I got 3 more in the works right now that I'm really excited for, and I really think you guys are going to enjoy. Yeah, this is so much fun. And so just because, like I said, I want this podcast to be more about the guests and the conversations we have. But today's going to be another solo one, just because I want to answer some questions. I took to Facebook, and I think it was just Facebook, but I wanted to get your guys' questions. Ask me anything sort of deal, because I want to answer everything honestly, so you guys can kind of have a little bit more of a better connection with me. You guys can kind of get a vibe for who I am, and, make you be able to see things the way I see them sometimes, I guess. Before I get there, I just want to say a little bit about my day to kind of put us on that level. All right, here's the thing about at work. It's work. You go there, you get it done. It's whatever. I think what makes the day good or bad for me is before and after. If I had a good morning, if I woke up in a great mood, I'm set. I'm happy, because it's just that's how you start the day out. But then if I have a really shitty morning, pretty much my day's fucked. And that's just the end of the story. Like that's the end of my day usually. I know it's going to be a write-off, and it's just about kind of staying positive throughout. But after work, if something sets me off, that's almost worse, because I was in a good mood and I didn't really care. I was just excited to get home, and then, shit went down. The point of this is I didn't have a shitty day, but I had a series of shitty events, is what I guess you could say. Because, okay, the morning starts out pretty well. I get up at a decent time. I got time to sit on the couch and hang out with the dog and check my phone for a bit. Got up and left. And then the day kind of started to get wonky. And it sounds so stupid, and I know people are gonna be like, really? But if you're not living in Canada and you're listening to this podcast, we have obviously a coffee shop called Tim Hortons, and what they do, I think it's like twice a year, they do an event called Roll Up the Rim. Roll Up the Rim is every time you get a regular coffee or French vanilla, whatever the hell you're going to get, you roll up the rim of the cup, and there is either a please play again sign, or there's a prize, and there's some pretty good ones. But the cup says 1 in 6 chance of winning. Like, you get 1 every 6 cups, essentially. I get coffee almost every morning, and always, I guess not always, but a lot of the time for other people as well. Tell me how I had, the coffee I give to people will win sometimes. The one I picked, I didn't. I haven't won yet, and I've had more coffees than I could tell you, more French vanillas, more whatever. And I just got to the point now where I gave up. I don't even check them anymore, which leads me to a story that I'm going to touch on in a second. But anyway, the whole thing about this is that I got to work, and work, like I said, I just get through the day, and then I'm on my way home, and it shouldn't have pissed me off as much as it did, but when I'm trying to get on the bus, I'm kind of cold, my hands are full, and the lady in front of me that was getting on the bus is sitting there asking him like every question imaginable, where do I get off if I'm going to this place? And then where do I go after that? And then when I get off where would I get off the bus? And I'm standing out in the cold, and she won't get out of my way. It's a narrow space. And even the bus driver's looking at me, trying to tell me to come on. I'm like, I want to. I can't. So I literally just reached over her, put my money in, and I just, and she still wouldn't move. So I just literally had to push by her, and it was a very awkward moment. It was very awkward. So that's my point, is that it wasn't a bad day today, guys. But I think that what I wanted to do was come on the podcast because it's something that really makes me happy. And I think I was deciding anyways that I think Soup of the Day is going to come out whenever I want. But I think no matter what, there will always be an episode on Friday. So there might be 2 a week, but there will always be an episode Friday, which is today. So happy Friday, people. This is the point of this as well. I wanted to change it to Friday because everyone always looks forward to Friday. It's the best day of the week because it's the end of your week, right? And I just feel like, how better if you're waking up in the morning and you're on a long drive, pop the podcast on, We'll have a conversation, we'll just chit-chat. And something to look forward to every week as well. For me, for you, hopefully. So let's get right into this, guys, because there's one more story I need to tell you before we get into the point of today's show, and that's back to the Roll Up the Rim. Natalie, my girlfriend, you're going to meet her soon. She is so intense about this fucking Roll Up the Rim. I'm not even joking. And it shocks me. It really shocks me because at first I thought she was joking, but she gets intense. It's like, I was telling her the story about how, oh yeah, I had one back when I was home. When I was visiting home a little while ago. I didn't even check it. And she just went, what? That could have been a car. That could have been anything. You don't even know. We'll never know now. And I just started thinking, like, yeah, I guess so. But I started laughing. And then recently, it's just, I've seen the steps. She really, she's serious about this. Because I was out in the backyard with the dog. And basically, I was drinking my coffee and I had left it out there. She had taken the dog out later in the evening and thought it was my upstairs neighbors. I had just left it there. So, still thinking it's theirs, she literally rolls the rim up to see if it was. She checks if it was. It wasn't. She rolls it up, looks, sees it wasn't a winner, rolls it back down, puts the lid on, and then puts it back so that it was never. I was like, I just would have destroyed the evidence if I were you. I just would have thrown the garbage afterwards. Even if, she didn't know it was mine. So, anyways, I just find the funny things about her. She's a character. I'm excited for her to be a guest on this show, actually. I think it's going to be some very interesting conversations. So, very quick transition there. Didn't even give myself a second to breathe. Let's move on, because there is a point to this podcast. Like I said, I want to know your guys' questions for me, and we're just going to go through them in no particular order. I'm going to read every single one I can see. If I miss one, I am sorry. It's not intentional, and I will answer every single one of them honestly. So let's get into it. Please excuse me. I need a drink of vitamin water because my throat feels like it is a Sahara Desert. I'm sorry you had to listen to that. I'm probably going to cut that out. No, I'm definitely going to leave that in anyway. So, we're going to start, I think, from the text message questions I got. Just because there's 3 options. I said you could text me, you can use Ask, which, by the way, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know you needed an account to do that. I'll use a different way next time, so it's easier if I do this again. But also Facebook comments, and then, like I said, texting. So let's go right to the texting one first. I'm going to see which ones I got here. Okay, so question numero uno. I think I'm missing one here. Okay. This one is, I don't think I'm going to say the names of people who texted, just because I said if you want to remain anonymous, you can text me. So, this is anonymous. Did I say unanimous? I hope I didn't, because that'd be fucking stupid. For your podcast, I want to know. Oh, this one I was excited about, so I'm glad I'm starting with this. I didn't even realize. Do you relate more to Ross, Joey, or Chandler? This is a great question. I love Friends. It's one of my favorite TV shows ever. Truth be told, this is a funny thing that I brought up to Natalie very recently. That I think this is the reason I like the show. Every single one of the characters is a certain piece of me. I feel like I have traits of all of them, in the sense where it's like, except I think if I was ranking them, Joey would probably be last for me. Just because I'm not really like him, but I think the goofy side, I guess, is the way. But even so, I think I'm, like, sense of humor wise, I think Chandler. I think I relate most to Chandler because I think I'm a lot more funny than I really am. I really do, and that's not something I'm afraid to admit. I understand that, and that's okay. But I like my humor, so, and I think everything is a joke, and so I relate to him in that sense. However, with Ross, that like neurotic side of him in that sense, that's me totally. The awkward side of him is me by far, no question in my mind. So yeah, and you know what? I don't think I have really any relation with Joey now that I think about it. So I think I would just take him out and say I'm a mix between Ross and Chandler. And lastly, what is the meaning of life? That is a question that I have no capability of answering because I don't know. I really don't know. I think the meaning. This is a rough one too. I think what the meaning of life should be is to live it to its fullest. Take what you got, work with it, make something of it, because you get one of it, life. Do what you can with it. Make it a memorable one so that if there is something after, then you have something to look back and be happy about, versus if there isn't, at least you can enjoy every moment you have of it. It's just, that was a really deep answer, so I hope I didn't lose some of you guys there, but that's kind of, I guess, my interpretation of it without going too far into it, just because, I don't know. I don't think anybody's ever going to understand the concept of that question. Unless this is all, well, topic idea, by the way, people, later on at a different date. Are we in a simulation? What if this is all fixed and maybe not even just one person, or maybe not everybody, maybe one person. Maybe this is a simulation for somebody else in particular in this world. Somebody that was meant to do something or is being tested, and we're just a piece of the puzzle. More on that at a later date. Oh man, this is fun. All right. So I guess that's the only text message one I got. So we're going to go ahead and go to the Facebook section now. Or sorry, no, we're going to go to the Ask. That's where we're going. This one's weird because I got random questions from people I've never met or heard of. I think it's just the Ask side of it or whatever. Kind of like pairs you with people to ask, which is kind of weird. I don't want people knowing my personal shit, but that's just me. All right. So we're going to go right into this here. Just going to go in order, whatever ones I got. So, this is a weird one that I didn't really understand, that I think I might know who it is, but how do you show your love for cats? I hope I don't lose a bunch of viewers, but I'm not a cat guy. I'm a dog guy, and actually I was never a dog guy either. I wasn't either. I was scared of animals, but now that I have a little puppy doggy, I'm a dog guy. I lived with cats my whole life due to my sister, and I was never okay with it. So yeah, that's unfortunately the answer. How do I show my love? I give them their fucking space. That's what I do. You go and do your thing, I'll do mine. We share the space. There you go. That's how I'm gonna answer that question actually. What's your thoughts on your best friend? I don't have a best friend. I have best friends, and I have friends. I think my best friends as a whole are people that I'm very happy to have in my life. I think they're people that I don't know where I'd be without. I think I'd be in a much different place, butterfly effect and all that, obviously. But I'm very happy that I have all my best friends in my life. And you'll get to know more one-on-one with each best friend as I get them on the show. You already know one as Joe. And in the coming weeks, you will know D. You will know D. We're gonna refer to her as D. You will know her. And yeah. So that's my thoughts on my best friends. How does your nutrition differ from other people's? Probably awful. I'm not happy. I'm not proud of how I have eaten my whole life. But the problem is right now in my life, and since I was little, I can eat whatever I want and not I have a fast metabolism. However, with that, comes, you don't know the damage you're doing to your body. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean you're not doing damage. So that's something everyone's got to watch out for. And I've been changing my diet lately. I've been, I cut out the pops or sodas for the American listeners. Cut that out of my diet, and girlfriend and I are trying to eat more healthy. Some fuller suppers and meals and all the breakfast, lunch, dinner shit. So yeah. There's a bunch of French ones here that I can't read. I don't know French, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what these say. If that was you, I doubt it. Are you confident? I am healthily confident. Now, unfortunately, I think there's three sides of that. There is the side that I am confident in my ability to do the things that I know I'm good at, if that makes any sense. I know that I'm confident that if I'm enjoying what I'm doing or something that I love, I will kick ass at it. I will do it like it's never been done before in my own brain. And so in a healthy amount, I know I can do these things. It's just a matter of applying myself to do them. Then there's also the side of, I guess, my self-image. That one I'm not too confident in. I've always had that confidence issues when it comes to my own personal self, but luckily I got a girl now that she kind of steers me in the right direction with that. So, and then finally, when it comes to basketball, not playing basketball, but playing too, but like NBA and watching it, I'm cocky. I'm not confident. I'm cocky. Now I'm convinced. That's what I am. I'm convinced that, yeah. Outfit of the day. Unfortunately, because of my job, I don't get to dress nice during the week, so I'm wearing an old Aeropostale t-shirt, ripped to shit American Eagle jeans, and a teal, American Eagle? No, Aeropostale sweater, so I'm going all Aeropostale today. It's kind of funny that I use that for working and stuff. So, yeah. Oh, and also Cleveland Cavaliers hat, ironically, because I fucking don't like Cleveland. So, I'm trying to make a hat collection, guys. I'm trying to get all the NBA teams, So, suck moi. No, thank you. How to properly raise a dog? Give it love. That's the only thing I can think of. Train. Make sure you're actively, stimulating everything that needs to be stimulated in the sense where it's like, make sure that they're getting physical activity. They need that. All dogs need physical activity. Lots of love, lots of, training is important. Mental training. That's, my hopefully future guest on the show, Stephanie, is a wonderful dog trainer, and she's really helped me with training my dog. So hopefully we'll get her on here too, guys. That's an interesting conversation. Trust me. We'll get there. We'll get there. If you stick with me, we'll get there. What's your favorite pastime activity? Video games. By far. That's literally, if I don't have to leave the house and I have one choice of whatever I want to do, I would be playing video games. That would be the choice. So it's just, I'm going to be doing a podcast on that as well in later time, why that's a big deal to me. But again, we'll get there. So, how tall am I? I am 6 foot to the T. I am exactly 6 feet tall. And I know that because my license says so. So if it's just saying that, I'm going to say that I'm 6 foot anyway. So, alright. So, let's see what the next one we got here is. What do you think about battery-driven cars? When will they drive ordinary cars off the road? It's a great question. What I think about them is I think if we can get them where they need to be, then they're perfect. That's what we need. We need some more electric cars around there to kind of cut down on exhaust fumes and cut down on, all kinds of air pollution, which is something that is, it's important, guys. So that's stuff we need right now. That's kind of my opinion on that because, I don't know. We don't need to be doing more to the planet. We need to be kind of fixing some certain things, right? So, when, I have no clue. I think when everyone starts to realize what's going on and how important this kind of stuff really is, that's probably when we'll start seeing that stuff. And And how to find a good job. The acquaintance is not an option. The acquaintance is not an option. Okay, so how to find a good job. It depends on what your definition of a good job is, because is it, you mean well-paying job, or just job that you really enjoy, or a mixture of both? Because it's all different, right? I think the generalization of how to find a good job is to look for something. Number one, don't apply places. If you're in need of money, then just go everywhere. But if you're looking for a good job, then apply the places you want to work. Don't take a job that don't start applying for jobs you're going to hate anyway. Take that and apply yourself, get the resume on point, make sure everything's good. Bring that in. Be very professional from the get-go. That's the key. People want professionalism, no matter what industry you're in, right? So that's the key for that. And then after that, it's just a matter of keeping it, right? So just make sure you're always doing your best at it. That's my really cheesy but full advice on that. And that's that for Ask, guys. This is going rather well. I'm kind of flying through them. I might take a little slower for these next Facebook ones, because I know there's one there that I don't think everyone's going to like when I talk about it, but that's okay. All right, so here's the Facebook question, the last sort of, round of questions we have, I guess. Kind of quicker than I thought. But regardless, let's get into this, guys. Ben Tingley, my main man, asking me, NBA fantasy, who's your starting 5 of all-time players? Wow. See, this is the one I was saying that I know you guys aren't going to, a lot of people aren't going to understand or like this, but that's okay. This is just going to be a quick one, guys. Because if I had some time to think about it, which on my sports podcast, which will be coming out once a week as well, make sure you guys check into that. Because if you're a basketball fan, then you're going to love it. You will touch on some other sports as well, but you're going to love it. Go check that out. The first one was just put up, and we have a name for it. And this is also thanks to Ben Tingley. The name of the NBA show will be called The Weekly Rebound. So thanks, Ben. Appreciate the name, because that's awesome. That is the name of that, guys. So moving on, I would say I'm just going to do a quick one, get it over with, so I can just kind of, and I'll touch more on it later. Starting center of all time, man. I think I'd put Shaq. I think I'd take Shaq for center. Get some nice height and some power in there. I think for power forward, you know what? Just going on against my better judgment here, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Karl Malone, man. I think Karl Malone would be my power forward. Small forward, I'd have to stick with LeBron. LeBron in his prime, though. Like, LeBron now is what I'm thinking. And then Michael Jordan, obviously, as shooting guard. And then for point guard, man, I don't know. That's a hard one. I think, you know what? And it sucks because I don't really have time to think it over. But I think at this moment right now, just because it's in my head, is just where it's an all-star team, I would probably just put in Curry. Just because, this is more, I guess this is my current starting lineup, except for, because I was going to replace Karl Malone, I was just going to put Durant in there. That would be my current day, I think, starting 5 right now, if I just had a choice of them. But, and that center was Shaq. So, you know what, no, that is my all-time. I changed my mind, fuck that, that's my all-time. We'll go more into that another time. I'm talking too much about this now. So, what's going to be the next big disruptive technology? Something that has not been invented yet. Wow. This is another good one. I don't know. There's a lot of things that are going to come that I think are just going to change a lot. I think it's going to, you know what? I'm going to go as far as to say I strongly believe the next disruptive technology, the next big one, is going to be something implanted. I'm almost positive. And that's what's going to be disruptive. Is it's going to be a pain in the ass, but it's going to be something that's an implant into the human body. I guarantee it. That's my prediction. Mark it on your calendars, people, that this day, March 15th, 2018, at 5:57 p.m., I predicted that this world is going to have implanted technology soon. And number 3 strikes a story. Tamagotchis. For the people that don't know, Tamagotchis were these little electronic pets. They're little tiny circles. And now, electronic circles, that's not what I meant to say. They're little electronic, like they're shaped like a circle, but they're really small, and it's just a little like pixelated pet that you take care of. Now, they're expensive little fuckers, that's for sure. And they were like this craze. All the kids wanted a Tamagotchi. Now, Ben and I used to go to the same Boys and Girls Club together after school. Unfortunately, there was a day that it was my last day. And Ben had asked me to watch him for me. He said, you take care of him for me. I'm almost positive it was like an overnight thing. Like it was an overnight event they were having, like a 24-hour thing. And anyways, he asked me to hold on to him. And then I left, not remembering that I had it, and I never went back because we had to move. So I never went back there, and I had his Tamagotchi. I stole it from him by accident, and he held a grudge, and then we started hanging out again way later on, and he brought it up, and I was just like, oh, fuck. And I just want you to know, Ben, I want to be very serious with you right now, and I need you to understand something. Your Tamagotchi lived a very good life. I took very good care of him. And I'm not saying that to rub it in. I'm saying that just so you have peace of mind, he was well taken care of. He did not go out in a closet somewhere. He lived a long, very long and happy life. So you can at least rest easy knowing that. Okay? Okay. So, who is your favorite video game character? From Brandon William Davis. And just going to do a little quick plug, guys. Brandon Davis is the, I guess you could say he's the creator of his own. He is actually who I was talking about last week. He runs the Hippie Hideout t-shirt shop. And actually, it's not even a t-shirt shop anymore. The man's expanded by quite a bit because what he's done is he's now doing handmade metalworking, rings, necklaces. I'm sure I believe I've seen some of those. But he's really high on those rings right now, and let me tell you guys, they're really nice rings. Go check them out. His t-shirts all tie-dye. He does takes custom requests as well. He's always looking to please you guys. So anything that you might want, if you have a special request that's not even there, send him a message. He might be able to do something for you. So you can check him out on Instagram and Facebook. Sorry, at the Hippie Hideout. And his Etsy shop, I believe it's etsy.com/shop/the Hippie Hideout. Check it out. It's a phenomenal site, guys. He's got some really nice stuff there. So, moving on, who's your favorite video game character? Very good question. Very good question. I have a lot of pride for... It's hard to narrow down to a favorite. I can name a couple. I love Master Chief. Dude's just straight badass. Marcus Phoenix was awesome as well. I mean, of course, you got the classics. You got Mario. Yeah. I don't know, guys. That's a really interesting question to ask. And I guarantee I'm going to think of one that I like the best when I'm done. But I won't. You know what? I'm going to put down Link. Link is my favorite video game character of all time. I knew that was going to happen, but I caught it early. Link is just a badass, dude. He's got different universes. He's got different, timelines. And in each one, he's a fucking badass. It's just meant to be. So Link is my favorite. Joseph McGraw, the guest on last week's show. We will be seeing him again soon, guys. I got some really good response from you. Joe will be coming back for a nice conversation soon. East Coast or Central? It's a good question. Very good question, because I came from the East Coast. I'm now living in Toronto, Central. You know what? I can't really pick one. I like to be at both very equally, but I also need a break from the other equally. I mean, living home on the East Coast, it's a lot more quaint. It's not as fast paced all the time, and it's just more of a homey feel. But at the same time, the city, you got way more going on. There's always something fun to do. You're in the thick of it, so you can get ahead on the things you really want to be ahead in. Because, for example, I couldn't do TV or anything like that I want to do unless I moved out here. There's nothing for it back home. So that's kind of, I guess, the cheap answer for that. But if I had to pick one, it's East Coast all the way, just because that's home, and you never beat home, right? For the last question, I really don't want to end it on this, but Adam Furlot says, how many times a week? Okay, so I just to let you guys know, I'm sorry. I did tell you that I was reading every question, and there's one here that I have to read out loud. I'm so sorry for anybody that doesn't want to hear this, but how many times, I'm not going to answer it. How many times a week do you spank the monkey? I'm not answering that question. I'm sorry, Adam. I'm going back on my word, but you're an asshole anyway. Speaking of him, he's going to be on the podcast coming up, I think, in next week. I think the next episode is going to be him. So, you guys will get to hear me call him an asshole in person. So, anyways, wow. Unfortunately, not a lot of questions to keep me going. Oh, never mind. I've been talking for 35 minutes, guys. Well, somewhere around there. Yeah, that was my little mini questionnaire. Thank you for everybody sending questions. I know Ask kind of ruined that as well, and I didn't know you needed an account to ask the questions, but I had a lot of fun anyways. You got to know a little bit. I got to talk and chit-chat a bit. It's been very interesting to see what questions of me were asked. So yeah, you know what? Just to end this podcast off, I do want to talk about the coming weeks. So I keep saying things that, we're going to talk about this another time. So my goal is anytime that I feel like just coming to record, I'm going to record, and I get it out as soon as I can. But there will be an episode every single Friday, no matter what. So if there's none the rest of the week, you can look forward to Friday if you're a fan. If not, if this is your first time here, by the way, thanks for sticking through the whole thing. I really appreciate that. Feel free to share, send to your friends. It's something fun, just the more I do, the better I'm going to get. I feel so much more confident doing this one than I did the last two, and I'm sure next week I'm going to start being, feeling more confident about that one. So it's been a lot of fun. I just want to give you guys a little bit of a mini lineup to know what to expect now that, we're 3 episodes in and I got a little bit of a path. I hope these aren't guaranteed. Well, they're confirmed, but at the same time, things happen, so it might not be super soon. However, the lineup that we have planned is pretty fun. In no particular order. I don't know which way they're going to go. We're going to have Adam, like I just said last there. Adam has been my friend literally to the exact same day as long as Joe on the last podcast. Same amount of time. Just the same strong of a connection, so it's going to be a really good conversation. I got a lot of stories with us that you guys are going to just lose it. And also, we're going to talk to him about music. We're going to talk to him about music because the thing about that is that that's his thing. He's the rocker guy. He's a phenomenal musician. So, what I'll do is I'll make sure that he brings some demos, some little, pieces of his music so we can get some of that on the air. And we're just going to talk about music and the industry itself and rock as a genre. How relevant is it, still? And Adam seems to think it's the most relevant music there is. So that's going to be a really interesting conversation for sure. And then we're going to go on and talk to a lovely lady named Ashley Deering. Ashley was a very good friend of mine in high school. And she's actually got a couple modeling agencies now that, she's trying to work at on Instagram. And we're going to talk to her about those. I have a lot of questions about that. I've always been interested to know certain kind of how that industry works because there's some things that some models do that are, for lack of a better word, they're a little more risque. But it's just like, I know I wouldn't have I wouldn't be able to do that. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't be able to feel comfortable doing that. Like, and it's just, I'm interested to know what makes, you comfortable to do that. And it's really cool because, it's a lot of really cool art comes out of modeling. And that's not even a joke. Like, it sounds stupid, but it's true. Anyway, moving on. We also have my wonderful girlfriend will be on this show, and I got some very interesting stories there. You guys don't even know what's coming, and it's gonna be fun. We're gonna be talking to her about she is a fashionista. She likes to get her clothes going good. She likes to be looking good. She likes to be in the now with that, for lack of any better word. And I want to talk to her about her other passion, which is the environment. That she's a very environment-driven person, and she's trying to get into the industry of connecting the two, and it's very, very interesting, guys. There's so much that you know that I didn't even know before her that goes into how unenvironmentally friendly clothes really are. And yes, they're awesome, and a lot of people, you know, love their clothes, and that's how they portray themselves, is with their clothes. But it is very environmentally unfriendly. However, you know, there's a lot of fashion now has become environmentally, or is in the process of becoming environmentally friendly. It's really, really interesting because you get to see, you know, the way a lot of the world is working when it comes to who's making the changes that needs to be changed, who's not, why aren't they, and you know, we're just gonna kind of dabble into that and why it makes it important for her. So, yeah, that's something to look forward to right there. We're gonna have at some point, we're gonna have Joe back on again very soon. We're gonna give a little talk to him, just about a surprise that I don't want to tell you. I was gonna say it, but it's I'm gonna wait and hold off on that. And you know what, guys, this has been a hell of a lot of fun. You know, this was even just, you know, the few questions we did, they were great questions. I love those questions, and you guys did an awesome job in picking the best ones out. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and being a part of this with me, because it's I'm really driving, guys. I'm pushing. I want this to be something. I want to improve with this, and I want to make this my future. I think it's a possibility. I think I can do it if I pull everything together. And you guys, you know, whether you were here for all three or even just one, if you're here right now listening and you know what I'm saying, then you know that you are a part of helping me do that. So thank you so much for sticking through the weird parts and the drawn out parts and the just, you know, rambling, for lack of a better, I said lack of a better word 3 times in the last 3 minutes, and I tried to catch myself every time and didn't do it in time. Point being, you guys are the best. So guys, please enjoy this end track, who is especially, I know I did not get to say it originally, which I regret, because I love the music I'm finding. Basically, I'm using YouTube Audio Library for the intros and outros of this podcast, and there's some great artists on there that I just want to make sure I'm giving a shout out to every time now that I know what I'm doing and I'm, you know, getting in the groove of this. So Otis McDonald, thank you so much for the track Ever Felt Part 2. Phenomenal track here. I just love the feeling you get at the end of it there. So thanks again to you. Thank you, listeners. You guys have yourselves a wonderful fucking evening. I wish I hadn't ended it on like that. My grandmother's gonna kill me. So, all right, guys, peace out.